Hey, what's happening, everybody out there in the XRP community? Thanks for coming back to Investment Perspectives. Okay, so first of all, big shout out to everybody who's been supporting the streams that we've been having lately. They've been going really fantastic. I have Miss Backup off to the side, really helping out to feed the questions and the comments through. And I've never really seen a stream really kind of go the way that this is starting to go. So I encourage anybody that doesn't come to the streams or normally doesn't tune into a stream to check our stream out because it moves pretty nice. And we get some pretty good conversations and questions going back and forth as well. So, all right. So and real quick, if you want to follow anything that we're going over on this channel or you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter. It's the Average Joe Investor at Backup Bradley, BAKKUP, Bradley, LEY, no spaces. Okay, so before we get started here, I want to give a shout out to Stuart XRP, huge source out here in the XRP community. Thank you, brother. He posted a video of NASDAQ trade talks where they were talking and interviewing Gabor Gurbax from Van Eck, MVIS, the Director of Digital Asset Strategies, and they were getting his global outlook on 2019. So I thought we would take a look at some of that real quick. So, all right, so the title for today is XRP IMF gives the green light to launch national cryptocurrencies to 8 nations. Okay? All right, so that's what we're looking at today, as well as some other things that Mr. Gerbach brought up in the interview. So the IMF indeed has given the green light for 8 nations, the larger of which are Russia, Venezuela, and Canada. There's some other smaller countries also, but they are to launch a national cryptocurrency. This is exciting, very exciting. So now, looking into the outlook of Mr. Gerbach from Van Eck, his 2019 global outlook, he did see a slow but steady growth for crypto, and he talked about 3 different areas that he was looking for things to really take place through 2019. One was market structure, and he said he wanted to see he believed that we would see more development to come to make a more robust, more developed market, and particularly in the custodial section, which we know is a problem right now for BACT, right? Because that's what they're waiting on with their licensure, is the custodial aspect of what they want to provide for their clients. So, and then he goes on to talk about one of the other points he wants to look or is looking for through 2019 is mergers and acquisitions, which really, really makes sense, right? Because we're reaching that point of that stage of the market where the bigger conglomerates can absorb a crypto if they want and incorporate that right into their business model, right? So I would look for things like that to start taking place as well. Or even like mergers like we see like BACT purchasing the commodities future brokers, was it RCG, I believe we talked about the other day. You see those kind of mergers happening where they're, engulfing one another and it's growing. And it really does point, again, like we talked about, to the paradigm shift that's happening to the traditional platforms and the way they're going to look after all this stuff is rolling out. So let's keep it going. So mergers and acquisitions. And then he says he said a few other big ticket items. And then we'll get to that in a second. So institutional investors are looking for an easier solution to invest in crypto that are secure, feel familiar to them, like traditional markets they are already used to. So he's making that comment about that threshold we're in, right? The institutional investors see the money that they're able to make here, but they also see the pain points, right? So they're expressing to him and people in his position that they want to get in the game. But as he just addressed, we're going to have to look through 2019 to see the market structure get some more development in the way of providing the kind of regulations, legislation that's needed to protect the institutional or retail investor, right? So this way, your money's safe when you're putting it in, or as safe as it can be as an investor protection. Okay, so now Now we go on a little further, and he suggests to look out for huge IPOs, some huge IPOs in 2019 also. He said there's been some filings in Japan already, and he said he would expect to see some here also in the U.S. within 2019. Could he be talking about possibly, well, I don't know if Coinbase is not, well, Coinbase may want to IPO in the U.S., right? So we'll have to see how this works out, but that is a huge move for the crypto space. Obviously, the more you have something IPO and bringing into the traditional side of the security side, I think you just see more and more of it being melded in and woven into the traditional markets and traditional products, right? Okay, so now let's look here. Okay, so those other few big ticket items he did come back and touch on in the interview, and I thought they were important. He said one of the big points he made for the big ticket items, a big picture to look at, was on the payments front. He said if crypto can't solve global payments, then crypto fails. Well, Mr. Gorbach, I got to tell you, you're in luck, my friend, because XRP solves that problem, and I think he knows that. So, little tongue-in-cheek there, but I believe that that's why he's talking about that as a big picture item, because he's well aware of what XRP can do, and he's even more aware and probably astute to exactly what's going to happen and unfold in the next coming days and weeks, right? So, okay. So then the other thing he pointed to here was that the big ticket item was what we talked about and opened the video with, right? Is to look for one or two of these 8 approved, IM approved green light nations here to become crypto friendly nations in 2019. Now that's powerful. Listen, that is very powerful. You're talking about sometime during this year, 1 or 2 of the G20 nation countries becoming a crypto-friendly nation. That's just massive, massive movement forward with the world accepting crypto. And it's just going to get better and better. It really is. And you guys know it too, and I know we all do. But that's why I wanted to touch on this, because you see IMF continue to move forward and put the plans in place to adopt digital currencies. And if you were ever so concerned about regulations and legislation, they even talked in the interview about what we talk about here often, about how the rest of the world isn't waiting because they've already decided or they're further ahead in the progression of whatever the legislation or regs are in their country. So the world isn't waiting. And you can see here that 1 or 2 of these G20 nations, they ain't waiting either. So the fact of the matter is that even though we're waiting on U.S. legislation and regulation, it'll come. It'll come, and it'll come in no small part because of the leverage of the pressure from the rest of the world, that it must catch up. It must get things done to be able to fall in line, because there's no way that we'll be left behind, right? So if you're feeling that today, and I know we've all felt it at times with our investment, I just encourage you to take that macro step back. Look at 2019. Look at what this gentleman from Van X said, not me. I'm the messenger, right? We're discussing what this gentleman said, the director of digital asset strategies there, and he's telling you that this is all going to get worked out and that it'll be a nice, strong, steady, slow growth, as he says, but I don't know how slow it really will be. But to somebody in his position, he may call it slow, but I think we're going to see a strong growth in the crypto space because of everything that we just went through here. So, okay, so at the end of this, you really do have to come back and ask yourself the question that's going on here, because we know that there's pressure from the rest of the world to move on crypto in every aspect that they need it, whether it's just cross-border payments or whether it's any other direction or avenue of use case, right? But the point of all of this is that we're not just watching and talking about this gentleman's business model that they're working on at VanEck, what we're talking about here is a global market being unfolded, right? A global market being unfolded for the world to use, buy, sell. Oh, another great point that he talked about too, to see developments in 2019. And this is really important. And it goes hand in hand with what we're talking about right now. We're not just watching or hearing about this gentleman's business model. We're talking about everything, the framework and the market structure being developed and rolled out for an entire global market of brand new digital assets, guys. So then he does touch on the fact in the development of 2019 for market structure, one of the other things that he's excited to see is he's looking to see crypto 2.0 products like futures and ETFs. Wow. So here it is, guys. You know, cryptocurrencies are commodities, and they can't wait to get these other layers of products built out on top of them, because they all know it can generate more money than just the underlying asset. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it right there. I'm going to keep this one short. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Definitely hit that subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when we have a live stream or I just drop a new video. Guys, I thank you so much for your support. Let's keep the conversation going, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right, bye.